Today is another painting day, and I have no idea exactly what I'm going to do. I have a reference image, and so I know I want to work from that, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to be using. I know for sure, obviously, that I'm going to be using watercolor, probably going to use some water solubles. I don't know about my ink pens or charcoal. I haven't even figured out colors or anything yet, but that is what all this is for. So with this reference image, I'm actually not going to show it to you all because I don't have permission from this individual to show this picture of them, but it's what I'm working from. So I'm looking at it, and the goal is to pick out all of my colors first. That is one of the things I try to do, as well as, sometimes, at least when I think I want to be more successful in my artwork, I may do some color studies or value studies. And so I'm going to do that as well. So, one of the main things that I see in this image that I have is the lady has she has a scarf on her and it is very deep red. So, obviously, my brain says, I'm going to use alizarin crimson. That is also in her skin tone, so that works perfectly. I think burnt sienna may also be something that I use. Obviously, since we have a human being, I can use raw sienna, and then I'll need blue to cool down the skin. So I'm gonna go with cobalt blue. Yeah. So there I have it for her skin and the scarf around her, and there isn't really much else except for her hair, which in that regard, I think I would probably want to mix. This isn't in there. I'm sure I can find it though. Deep sap green and amethyst. There we go. So yeah, sounds so blue. Colors, six colors. Now, what I am going to do is just put those to the side for a moment. So this portrait that I'm doing, I don't want to face it head on like a standard portrait. I want it to be a little bit more abstract. Maybe I will come back to this portrait and do it with more standard realisticness, not realism, but realistic. Anyway, I don't want to do that right now. So let me draw out at least some tiny little oil studies really quickly to see what is going to be done. So we have this lady who's got this very voluminous hair thing going on that goes off of the page. Um, yeah, here we are. Her ears are actually hidden pretty well. So, okay, there's the hair. And then she's got this fur. Just whoosh. Fur, 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 fur. And it comes down to about right here on this side. And then on this side, it's like that. So then we've got like just a peekaboo of some shirt that she was wearing. But other than that, it's actually got some cleavage. No, cleavage. And then we've got like a couple of things that I want to just like point out. Okay, great. And so here is the standard drawing, the really, really quick drawing. Then when we come to the face, she's got face really long and thick, although I don't really need to put the thickness in at the moment. Eyebrows, these are almost going off the face based on the angle. Okay, and then the eyes, just slightly in front of, it looks like. Yeah, okay, so boom, boom. And she's got these really thick eyelashes. Not that I think I want to highlight that, but we'll see. Okay. Just drawing the rest of this out first. Okay. And then when it comes to the nose, this is a more a head-on image, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, there we go. Boom. And the lips, the way her lip posture is quite interesting. So, okay, here we go. A quick little drawing, and you know what? I honestly think it looks like her already. Let's go ahead and just do a quick value study. I'm going to use, I think this is the Payne's Gray by Rockwell. Yes, that is what this is. So let me also just put a tiny bit of water in it. Okay, so first of all, the darkest darks I see. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm also going to mix amethyst in it. It's going to be like this area right here of her hair. Okay, and even just a little bit down here. Then it lightens up a little bit. So see if I can just kind of pull it along the rest of the way. Okay, and then on this side, the value is actually not as dark, even though we still have the dark value right there. Just putting some more there again. Okay, so those are my darkest areas. Oddly enough, her eyes are not the darkest area. Then we have just like, I think the lightest areas, I want to make a mark of that. 1 second. Okay, so the lightest area we have, number one, is right here. Then we've got a little bit of that lightness around the eye, around the nose. Uh, okay, and even underneath here a little bit. And a little lightness going on, even though that's not the lightest area. So when it comes to her skin, it's actually very light. So I am going to just quickly, even though that light part is light. Okay. Oopsie. Probably should have let the hair dry more, but that's okay. I can make this work. Especially like this part because it is a little darker there. So let me just, do two shadows. It's a little right up in here. Okay. Otherwise, let me see if I can lift it. Okay, so then when it comes to the values in her scarf, I'm gonna say it's probably middle value, and then it has some slightly darker spots. Yeah. And then even like in there, it's only slightly darker. Okay, there we are. So that's a quick value study. The area behind her, there is like somewhat of a shadow coming off of her hair, but otherwise, this area is pretty light. The area over here is a little bit darker. So there we go. And just for me to have that lightness back, I'm just going to, again, just so I can see it. Alrighty. I think that part's pretty much dry. Good. So I can go back in and put a few spots where the shadows are. So again, we've got that right here, but it does come down to the neck area and kind of go over in there. Right, there's like a tiny spot above the lighter spot. Okay, beautiful. Alrighty, again, here, not too much. And the eyes, obviously, a little bit above the eyes where the eyelashes are. Not too much, because it's not super dark. Okay, yeah, that's good. Also, I mean, this line is already here, but I'll just put it. Okay, and then there is like a little bit. All right, so there we have it. This is my quick value study, and that's so cute. Oh my gosh, why is this so cute? That's it. That's the painting for today. Nothing else needs to be done. This is all we're doing. And so I'm done with that. I just want to take a picture of this really quickly because it's adorable. Excuse me, you guys. Boom. There. Now that I've taken a picture of it, I can go ahead and ruin it with some alizarin crimson because that is the color of the scarf. So I'm gonna just throw it all around in there. So now the question I'm asking myself is how I want to approach beginning the process. Do I want to go ahead and just paint her as she is, or do I want to do some chaotic background and do this whole abstract thing? That is what I am questioning. Um, I just want to put like some of the mm, it's like a little red up here, and there's red in her skin down here as well. Like I said, um, very nice. And just because I can, the lips also have a little bit of red, but they're not like super potent red. So this is really cute. I'm really feeling this. This is why a lot of artists that I know will do the same painting over and over again or do multiple studies of it because they'll start with one and it's like, oh, that's very nice. And then they'll do another. And, you know, you can pull out something different when you do it that time. And so, yeah. Also, I'm not sure if this video is really going to be me painting the subject or if it is simply going to be me working it out. So I'm going to do this again. And I'm just like, gosh, I know I can't draw her the exact same. But let's do this again and see, what we come up with. Oops, sorry. I'm going to have the reference right here so I can draw it again. So we've got, again, this head. And I really need to start doing more studies. I genuinely don't do them a lot. And I feel like my paintings would be more successful on a more consistent basis if I were to do them. But I don't always do so. So now back to the nose. We've got, so I have drawn her again. I still like the first one I drew. This one, she looks very sweet and nice. This one, she looks a little, I don't know. So let's do this again. And I am going to do some random things and see what happens. So if I were to use, I don't know, let's say the alizarin crimson, still use it, but be just like a little bit wild with it, just kind of putting it anywhere like that. And then maybe I would take, what other colors did I say I was using? Cobalt blue. Okay, yeah. So let me take this cobalt blue then. And like if I were just to throw it down anywhere, also putting it in here. Yeah. And then the raw sienna. which here I think this is actually yellow ochre that I have left over that I have not fully used yet. Actually, no, that might be the raw sienna. And I take that and just, oop, it's a little bit too thick for me, and put it in certain areas as well. Okay, now I am going to take my brush and come to a couple of these areas and see if I can just remove the color from there. This was another light spot. So just lifting out the color and a tiny bit in the nose area. I didn't really get it off the forehead very well, so I will just take some white and dab it there. Okay, again. Very good. So now I need to let that dry a little bit before I do anything else. So I'm just gonna actually, great. So now after doing all that, I'm going to pull out my water solubles. Again, trying many versions of ideas and then we'll pick a big one. So I used blue. I'll pick this for the, I'll pull out actual yellow and we'll see how that goes. And yes, I am going outside of the zone of the painting, which is fine. Oh, and my husband is home. There's that. Okay. You guys hear him rattling the chips? He brought chips home for the chili that I made yesterday. Okay. Well, let's just see what happens. Lovely. Oh, Doritos. Say Doritos. Exactly. No, I'm recording. Sure. They wouldn't be able to see. Yeah, I'm just doing some studies. I'm gonna wash my hair and then we'll leave again. Okay. Okay. Now for adding like this is interesting. Okay. And now with all of these colors that are on the face, I just, I feel like in this one I'm making her look more like a drag queen, which is cool. Definitely has its own like little flair that I like. This is quite interesting. And the eyes, I would be adding a color that's not in here. So I think if I do that though, I'll just make it a blue variation rather than the actual color of her eyes. Because then I can also put this in a different spot. Like this blue can go here to mix and even add a little bit of yeah. Okay. Let me use a darker blue. Yeah. Okay, all right. So I'd say this is done. Isn't that quite interesting? I did make the face appear a little bit bigger with the shading. Hold on, because it's actually not that big. I don't want it to look as as big because it's not what it is. So let's make it small again. Hopefully, yeah, that made it smaller. Fun stuff. I'm gonna take a picture of this as well. Okay, so now this next one that I'm going to do, which will be the final one, I'm not going to draw her at all, or rather I will, but not in the standard way. So what I'm going to do now is take different colors because I really don't like the like I think this is cool, but I just don't like the using all of the primary colors, the red, blue, and yellow thing going on in there. Very unique image. Don't want to use it. So also I didn't mean to make this so small, but okay. Let's go ahead and pull this back out. And now if I were to choose just two colors to work with in general from what I originally have selected. Now we're just going to make a fun background and then we'll mold her into whatever is created. Yeah. Okay. So now let's perfect. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and see how I can mold her in here. So I'm thinking instead of using black, I just want to see. Oh, no, okay. With these colors that I've put down, probably better that I use black. Mm, this doesn't have to be realistic, so let's do. I didn't mean to do the eyebrows at different levels, but there they are. Technically, shouldn't be using the crayon for this because it's so thick. Like my eyes are already uneven, but that's fine. Actually, no, I'm not feeling this, so we're gonna stop on this one. I mean, it could still turn into something, actually, I can see, but I know that this is not the approach I want to take. So in the end, from all the little studies that I've done, I think what I want to work on is a painting of the woman in black, or I'm sorry, not black, but in a neutral color in Payne's Gray, and then adding the pop of alizarin crimson. And maybe I'll add a little bit more color on top, but just out of everything that I've done, to me, that seems like the most of what I want. You know, I thought maybe this would be a fun, chaotic painting that I would do, and it still could be. Like I could try this and just draw her face a little more softly and accurately, like I originally wanted, and use different colors. But I think I want to attempt this first, and maybe we'll come back to this. So anyway, this is just me sharing a session with you guys of me trying to plan things out rather than just going in blind or going in intuitively. Even though technically speaking, in a way, some of these things are still intuitive. Like it was intuitive for me to add the alizarin here and then a little bit of the raw sienna. So we are going to come back next time and hopefully tackle this beauty. I hope you guys have a beautiful day and a night. And as always, wa'aimin. Also, for anyone who doesn't know what wa'aimin means, it means I love you. I originally had this channel, well, not this channel, but a different channel for reading Danmei, which is Chinese BL, Chinese boys love. And at the end of all of my sessions, I would say wa'aimin. And so as I was thinking about like how I would possibly finish these sessions, I was just like, why change it? You know, I know some people may not know what I'm saying, but eventually you'll know what I'm saying. Wa'aimin. Sometimes I may like say wa'aimin, I love you, and then call it a day. But just so you guys can know in advance, that is exactly what that means. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the session. And again, wa'aimin.